Welcome to LeadDesk, my name is Rob Edwards, and in this onboarding outbound video, we're going to do something a little bit different, because this is a response to a challenge from our marketing team. I was talking to them about these onboarding videos, and they said, hey, that's great. We've had some feedback from one of our clients that you can get an agent up and running with LeadDesk within 15 minutes of introducing them to the application. Can you make a video to prove that? And I said, well, I can, but I sort of already have. The onboarding agent experience video, I'll put a link somewhere on screen. Sure, it's 17 minutes long, but a good chunk of that is talking about talk and omni. If we're just thinking about the outbound interface, yeah, that's easy. What would be interesting is, can you set up an entire LeadDesk environment in 15 minutes? Not just get an agent talking, but create that agent account, the project they're working on, the contact list they're going to be calling, the products they're going to be selling. Can you do all that in 15 minutes? I think you can. In fact, I think 15 minutes may be a little bit too easy. So I'm going to do this in hard mode. I'm going to attempt to do all that in 10 minutes. Now, a couple of ground rules to this challenge. First of all, I am doing this on one of my training domains, so some of the settings unavoidably are already there. I've got a phone number connected to my environment already, so we're not going to get into that. But I'm not going to take the easy route of just doing the minimum path. I'm going to try and put in a few things extra, possibly even that we haven't talked about in other videos. So I'm going to create an office. I'm going to create a sponsor. I am going to create some call ending reasons. And we're going to build a full and proper environment for us to make our first call. Before we get into it, though, let me just point out, you absolutely shouldn't. You may be able to do this in 10 minutes, time will tell. But if you're wanting a good LeadDesk environment that works for you, that does what you want to do, lets you capture the information you want to capture, lets you sell the products you want to sell, there are decisions you're going to need to make. You're needing to set particular settings that will require time and effort and consideration. So while I think you can do this in 10 minutes, you absolutely shouldn't. But let's see what we do. Let's get straight into the application. So we'll start the timer and let's get going. First things first, I'm going to log in to my admin account and ignore the fact there's some trial runs here. I'm going to go to my general settings page and I'm going to start from the start. I'm going to create an office to be working on this project. So create new office, and the office is going to be called Challenge. And likewise, I'm going to create a sponsor, still in the general settings, which is also going to be called Challenge. And still in the general settings, I'm also going to create a new global call ending reason. I've learned my lesson from when we did the training video on call ending reasons. I am going to create one for the customer not being interested in the product we're trying to sell. And in this particular case, if they're not interested at all, we're going to remove them from the contact list, because we don't want to call them again if they're just not going to be interested. So click Save on that, and we have a new call ending reason called Not Interested. Let's work our way back along the way, and we're now going to create a product for us to sell. Click on the Create button on the product list page, give it a name, apologies, you're going to hear more of me typing than normally. I tend to cut that out in most of my normal videos. I'm going to choose my challenge office and my challenge sponsor. And while I could set price and commission rate and things like that, I'm going to move on. Let's click Create and go to our contact list. More details on this in the full contact list video, of course. I'm going to name this video, I'm going to name this list. More fluffs from me as well, of course. This is my 10-minute list, which is going to be in the challenge office, held by the challenge sponsor, and my expiry date is going to be 6 months in the future. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's the end of September. And I'm going to choose the file that I'm going to upload here. And I have a file already prepared for this. So I'm just going to find it on my hard drive and select it. There we go. The challenge list is there. A quick look at the other settings on this page. I'm happy to accept all the defaults here. So I'm just going to click the Create button and it will create my contact list for me. Oh, I've got to check that my field mapping looks okay. And yeah, I'm happy with that. So let's create that contact list. There we go. It's a small contact list, so it is ready already. So let us move on and create an agent. In the Users menu here, I'm going to create an agent who is going to be called Challenge. You'll see a pattern here. Just setting a temporary password for them. Their full name is Challenge. And they are going to be working in the Challenge office. They are going to be using the Outbound interface. And just to check the permissions here, that yes, they can listen to call recordings. So that's good as well. Click Create on that. And we're fair running through all this. Just my project left to create now. Click the Create button on that. And it is going to be a call center campaign that I create, which is my Outbound type of project. I'm going to give it its name. No prizes for guessing at this point that it's Challenge. And this is the Challenge office. It's my 10-min project. And the sponsor will also be Challenge as well. Now we need to connect some of the elements we've already created to this project. So we are going to create our Challenge agent as the agent for this project. And we're going to use the Challenge list contact list. And we're going to use the Challenge product as the product we're selling. Moving straight down to call results. The outcomes I'm not interested here in. Issues solved and subscription sold. They aren't relevant to the environment we're in here. We've got a deal and we've got a callback and we've got a not interested. The only other reason I think we might need is we might need one for one where the contact might be interested but not today. So I'm going to call this one not today. And this will let us call this customer, potential customer, again. So what we do want to say is that if we choose that, we want to put a waiting period for this called number of at least 1 day. Once we're happy with that, let's move on. For calling methods, I am specifically going to choose to use the preview method in this case. I don't think I have anything to do with the contact settings. No, I'm happy with all those labels as they are. For the optional settings, I actually will do a couple of things for this. First, I'm going to give our agent here access to look at the LeadDesk website when they are talking to a customer. And we're going to name that tab LeadDesk. And I'm going to add a mini report for them to show how many deals they've made today. I think the only other thing that I want to do here is recording settings. I am going to start with the recording paused. So the agent will have to switch on recording to get it to work. Click the Create button on that. And that is all of my admin setup done. So we'll log out of my admin account. And we're going to log in as my new agent. I have to reset my password, of course, because this is the first time I've logged in. Always like to get a perfect score on my password. And we can see we are ready to make our first call. I'm going to put this in simulate mode so we don't end up calling random people with random phone numbers. And then I'm going to make this call to Hamish Jones. It's initializing the call, it's ringing it, and we are connected. We've got our LeadDesk tab here, so we can go and have a look at the LeadDesk page if we want, but let's concentrate on selling our product. They are happy to buy a challenge product from us, so we're going to add that to the order and make a point of capturing a voice receipt. Thank you for purchasing the challenge product. We will then send the order and complete by choosing the deal call ending reason. So, can you make a LeadDesk environment in less than 10 minutes? Well, clearly you can, less than 9 actually, more or less. But again, I want to come back to this point that I made earlier, that you may be able to do it, but you really shouldn't. One of the great joys of LeadDesk is the amount of flexibility built into the system that let you organize it the way that you want it to work, to do what you want it to do. And if you ignore all that to just take the quickest path to setting up your environment, you're kind of missing the point. Take your time. If you're setting up your first environment, have a think about what information you need to collect, what information do you need to report on, what can you do to make your agents' lives a little bit easier. All of these factors go towards making a great LeadDesk environment. But once you know what you're doing, it is actually relatively easy to slot it all together. Can you make a LeadDesk environment in 10 minutes? Yes, but don't. Thanks for watching.